Hey everyone, Jenny here with Sports Day Tribune, bringing you the latest scoop on WNBA sensation Caitlin Clark. Today, we're diving into a recent social media stir caused by a viral image of Clark that's got fans talking. Let's break it down. So, picture this. A photo of Caitlin Clark in a leopard print dress starts making the rounds on Facebook. At first glance, it's Caitlin like we've never seen her before. All glammed up, younger looking, and dare I say, quite sultry. The image shows her with a plunging neckline, a far cry from her usual on-court attire. Naturally, this caught everyone's attention. But here's where it gets interesting. Eagle-eyed fans quickly realized something was off. Turns out, this wasn't actually Caitlin Clark at all. Some clever photo editing wizard had superimposed Caitlin's face onto a picture of actress Jennifer Connelly. Talk about a plot twist. This little digital switcheroo sparked quite the debate among Clark's fanbase. Some folks were quick to call out the fakery, while others, bless their hearts, took the bait hook, line, and sinker. One fan even jumped to Caitlin's defense, ready to fight off any negative comments about the image. It just goes to show how protective Clark's supporters can be. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. This whole incident really highlights just how much of a big deal Caitlin Clark has become in the world of women's basketball. I mean, when was the last time a doctored photo of a WNBA player caused this much of a stir? It's a testament to Clark's rising star power. Since joining the WNBA, Caitlin has been nothing short of a phenomenon. She's quickly become the most talked about, most followed, and arguably most important player in the league. Every move she makes, on and off the court, becomes instant news. Heck, even what she doesn't do makes headlines these days. Just to give you an idea of how hot Caitlin Clark is right now, let's talk about her recent performance against the Dallas Wings. She absolutely lit up the scoreboard with a career-high 35 points. But wait, there's more. She also dished out 8 assists and grabbed 2 rebounds. Talk about a complete game. It's not just her on-court skills that are turning heads. Caitlin's popularity has transcended basketball. Did you hear about rapper Ice Cube offering her a gig in his league? And get this, he was willing to pay her more than what she's making in the WNBA. Now that's what I call star power. But let's circle back to this viral image for a second. It's fascinating how a single photo, fake or not, can generate so much buzz. It really speaks to the level of scrutiny and attention that Clark is under. Every aspect of her life, from her game day performances to her social media presence, is under a microscope. And it's not just fans who are paying attention. The media is all over every Caitlin Clark story. Whether it's analyzing her playing style, discussing her impact on the league, or even speculating about her personal life, Caitlin is constantly in the spotlight. This incident also raises some interesting questions about the nature of fame in the digital age. How easy is it for misinformation to spread? How quickly do fans jump to conclusions or come to their idol's defense? It's a reminder that in today's world of viral content and instant reactions, things aren't always what they seem at first glance. But let's not forget why we're all here in the first place. Caitlin Clark's incredible talent on the basketball court. At just 22 years old, she's already an all-star and the face of the WNBA. Her skills are undeniable, and she's bringing a new level of excitement to women's basketball. What's really impressive is how Clark handles all this attention. Despite the constant scrutiny, she seems to keep her focus where it matters most, on her game. Whether she's draining threes, making pinpoint passes, or leading her team to victory, Caitlin always brings her A game. Speaking of her game, let's talk about some of the quirks that fans have noticed. Social media detectives have been hard at work, spotting little habits and mannerisms that Clark displays during games. It's these little details that fans latch onto, creating a deeper connection with their favorite player. And then there's the whole baseball bat thing. Apparently, everyone's talking about how Caitlin handles a baseball bat. Now, I'm not sure what that's all about, but it just goes to show that fans are interested in every aspect of her life, even the seemingly random bits. But it's not all just about basketball. Caitlin Clark is making waves in other areas too. For instance, her reaction to Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris caught some attention. It's interesting to see how athletes like Clark navigate the intersection of sports and politics in today's climate. all of this attention on Caitlin Clark is really shining a spotlight on women's basketball as a whole. The WNBA is gaining more and more traction, and players like Clark are a big reason why. She's not just a great player, she's a role model and an inspiration to young athletes everywhere. It's worth noting that with all this fame comes a lot of pressure. Being in the public eye 24/7 can't be easy, especially for someone as young as Caitlin. But from what we've seen so far, she seems to be handling it all with grace and maturity beyond her years. One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark is changing the game. She's bringing new fans to women's basketball, raising the level of play, and challenging the status quo. It's exciting to think about what the future holds for her and for the sport as a whole. As we wrap up our discussion on this viral image incident, it's important to remember that at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark is more than just a social media sensation or a headline grabber. She's a talented athlete who's worked incredibly hard to get where she is today. So what can we take away from all this? Well, for one, it's a reminder to always take what we see on social media with a grain of salt. But more importantly, it's a testament to the impact that Caitlin Clark is having on the world of sports. She's not just playing the game, she's changing it. As we look ahead to the rest of the WNBA season, all eyes will undoubtedly be on Caitlin Clark. Will she continue to break records? How far can she lead her team? And what other surprises does she have in store for us? Only time will tell, but one thing's for certain, it's going to be one heck of a ride. So, keep your eyes peeled, sports fans. Whether it's on the court or on social media, Caitlin Clark is sure to keep us all talking. And who knows, maybe the next viral image of her will actually be real. But let's not forget about the other talented players in the WNBA. While Caitlin Clark is undoubtedly a star, the league is full of incredible athletes who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible in women's basketball. From veteran players who've been dominating the court for years to up-and-coming rookies making their mark, the WNBA is a showcase of world-class talent. Speaking of talent, let's take a moment to appreciate the skill it takes to perform at this level. The dedication, the hours of practice, the physical and mental toughness, it's truly awe-inspiring. And Caitlin Clark embodies all of this and more. One thing that sets Clark apart is her ability to make those around her better. Her court vision and passing skills are off the charts, and she has a knack for finding her teammates in just the right spots. It's not just about putting up big numbers herself, it's about elevating the entire team's performance. And let's talk about that three-point shot of hers. When Caitlin Clark lines up from beyond the arc, you can feel the anticipation in the arena. Fans hold their breath, opponents brace themselves, and more often than not, the ball swishes through the net. It's become her signature move, and it's changing the way teams have to defend against her. But it's not just her offensive skills that make her stand out. Caitlin's work ethic and competitive drive are legendary. Stories of her spending hours in the gym, perfecting her shot, and working on her game are inspiring a whole new generation of players. This brings us to an important point: the impact Caitlin Clark is having on young athletes, especially girls who dream of playing professional basketball. She's showing them that with hard work, dedication, and a whole lot of heart, anything is possible. In a world where female athletes often don't get the recognition they deserve, Clark is helping to change the narrative. It's also worth noting the impact she's having on the business side of things. WNBA viewership is up, merchandise sales are booming, and there's a buzz around the league that hasn't been seen in years. Caitlin Clark isn't just a great player, she's a marketing powerhouse. But with all this success comes challenges. The pressure to perform, the constant scrutiny, the expectations. It's a lot for anyone to handle, let alone a 22-year-old. Yet time and time again, Clark rises to the occasion. Her mental toughness is just as impressive as her physical skills. As we look to the future, it's exciting to think about what Caitlin Clark might achieve. Could we be witnessing the early years of one of the greatest basketball careers of all time? Only time will tell, but the potential is certainly there. One thing's for sure: Caitlin Clark is redefining what it means to be a superstar in women's basketball. She's not just playing the game, she's changing the conversation around it. And in doing so, she's opening doors for future generations of players. So as we wrap up our discussion on this viral image and the phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark, let's remember to appreciate the athlete behind the headlines. The dedication, the skill, the passion, that's what makes Caitlin Clark truly special. And who knows, maybe the next time we see a glamorous photo of Caitlin Clark, it won't be photoshopped. But whether she's rocking a leopard print dress or her Indiana Fever jersey, one thing's for certain, Caitlin Clark is a force to be reckoned with, both on and off the court. As we continue to follow Caitlin's journey in the WNBA, it's important to remember that she's still early in her professional career. The growth and development we're likely to see from her in the coming years is exciting to think about. Will she add new elements to her game? How will she adapt as teams develop strategies to try and contain her? One aspect of Clark's game that often gets overlooked is her basketball IQ. Her ability to read the court, make split-second decisions, and outsmart defenders is truly remarkable. It's this combination of physical skill and mental acuity that sets her apart from many of her peers. It's also worth noting the impact Caitlin is having on her team, the Indiana Fever. The Fever have struggled in recent years, but with Clark on board, there's a new energy and optimism surrounding the franchise. Her presence alone has rejuvenated the team and its fan base. Speaking of fans, the Caitlin Clark effect is real. Arenas are filling up, not just in Indiana, but across the league, as fans clamor to see her play. It's reminiscent of the excitement that surrounded players like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird when they first entered the league. But let's not forget that Caitlin is more than just a basketball player. She's becoming a role model and a voice for her generation. Her poise in interviews, her engagement with fans, and her commitment to growing the game are all admirable qualities that extend beyond her on-court abilities. As we look ahead to the rest of the WNBA season and beyond, it's clear that Caitlin Clark will continue to be a major storyline. Will she lead the Fever to playoff success? Could an MVP award be in her future? The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes following her career so exciting. In conclusion, while a viral image may have sparked this particular conversation, it's Caitlin Clark's talent, dedication, and impact on the game that will be remembered long after the social media buzz dies down. She's not just a player to watch, she's a player who's changing the game. And for fans of basketball and women's sports in general, that's something to celebrate. So here's to Caitlin Clark. May her crossovers be crisp, her three-pointers be true, and her impact on the game continue to grow. The future of women's basketball is bright, and Caitlin Clark is leading the way.